In 2019, inside a quiet radio station after hours, Na Boare finishes her final broadcast of the day. The city outside hums faintly through the glass, a faint echo of the life she once knew. As she packs her things, her phone rings. It's her father. He tells her that a mysterious package just arrived for her at home. When Boare opens it later that night, she finds two things inside: an invitation to an art exhibition and an old video cassette. One glance at the handwriting on the label and she freezes. It's a name she hasn't seen in 20 years. Her breath catches as the past surges back to the year 1999. When everything changed. Back then, Boare was a bright and fearless 17-year-old living in a small town far from Seoul. Her family owned a modest video rental shop, the kind filled with posters of American blockbusters and worn-out VHS tapes stacked to the ceiling. She lived with her parents and her mischievous younger brother, Na Bada, in a house where laughter always seemed to outshine the noise of the old television. Her best friend, Yeon-do, was her opposite in almost every way: gentle, soft-spoken, and fragile from a lifetime of heart problems. The two had been inseparable since childhood, bound by a friendship that felt stronger than blood itself. But one afternoon, Yeon-do broke the news that would change both of their lives. She was leaving for the United States for heart surgery, unsure if she'd ever return. Before her departure, Yeon-do confides in Boare about a boy she met recently at her mother's clothing shop. She remembers his smile, his school uniform, and the name on his badge, Baek Hyun-jin. For Yeon-do, it was love at first sight. She pleads with Boare to keep an eye on him while she's away to find out what he likes, who he hangs out with, and whether he already has someone in his heart. Boare, loyal and protective as always, agrees without hesitation. The very next morning, Yeon-do boards her flight, waving goodbye with a hopeful smile, unaware that she's handing her heart to fate. Once Yeon-do leaves, Boare wastes no time. Her investigation begins like a mission. She watches Hyun-jin from afar at school, noting his height, his friends, and even the way he drinks strawberry milk between classes. To get closer, she joins the school's broadcasting club after overhearing that he plans to audition. But when she arrives, things don't go as expected. Hyun-jin never shows up. Instead, his quiet best friend, Pong Woon-ho, does. Woon-ho is different, calm where Hyun-jin is loud, thoughtful where others are careless. Boare joins the club anyway, thinking it'll help her learn more about Hyun-jin through Woon-ho. What she doesn't realize yet is that her heart is about to betray her mission. As days turn into weeks, Boare keeps chasing clues about Hyun-jin. One afternoon, after a small mix-up involving a pager number, she discovers that the person she's been calling isn't Hyun-jin at all, it's Woon-ho. He teases her for pretending to be someone else, and though she's embarrassed, something shifts between them. The teasing turns to laughter, the laughter into quiet glances, and soon their friendship begins to blur into something deeper. But Boare doesn't see it yet. For her, everything she's doing is still for Yeon-do, every step, every question, every secret she uncovers. Until one night, during a school trip, everything changes. That evening, after the students secretly sneak drinks into the dorm, Boare drunkenly wanders into the wrong room. Startled, she comes face to face with Woon-ho. When the dorm monitor's footsteps echo down the hallway, Woon-ho quickly pulls her into a nearby storage room. In the dim light, the world grows quiet around them, and in that stillness, Boare confesses what she's been trying to ignore. The air between them shifts, charged and fragile. For the first time, Woon-ho realizes that behind Boare's fierce eyes and stubborn attitude, there's a girl who's just as lost as he is. And in that moment, they both understand whatever this feeling is, it's real. The next morning, punishment comes for everyone caught drinking the night before. On the beach, under the pale winter sun, Boare collects trash with the rest of her classmates, her head pounding from the hangover. Woon-ho quietly walks over and offers her a bottle of honey water, smiling in that gentle way of his. It's a small gesture, but it makes her heart skip, the kind of simple kindness that stays with you. From that moment on, Boare finds herself watching him more than Hyun-jin, the boy she was supposed to care about. She can't help it. The mission she promised Yeon-do begins to blur as her feelings slowly turn in another direction. As the days pass, their connection deepens. Woon-ho takes a part-time job at an ice cream shop across from Boare's family video store, and every evening, she invents excuses to be outside sweeping the sidewalk, helping her brother with badminton, anything just to wave as he walks home. When he finally takes her to his old house one evening, he opens up about his past, about the divorce that split his family and the little brother still waiting for him in New Zealand. Under that quiet rooftop sky, Boare listens as he tells her about dreams, regrets, and the kind of future he hopes for. He tells her she has a voice made for radio and should never stop chasing it. Before they part, she invites him to watch a movie together that weekend. Woon-ho smiles, leans in, and softly kisses her, sealing a promise neither of them yet understands the weight of. A few days later, Yeon-do returns from the US. Her surgery was a success. When she walks into the ice cream shop and meets Woon-ho face to face, the color drains from Bo-are's world. In an instant, she realizes the awful truth. Yeon-do's first love wasn't Hyunjin at all. It was Woon-ho. Back then, he had worn Hyunjin's school jacket, the one with his friend's name stitched across the chest. Bo-are's heart sinks as the puzzle pieces fall into place. She's fallen in love with the same boy her best friend has been dreaming about for months. That night, she sits alone in her room, staring at her reflection and making a decision that will break her own heart. Yeon-do has already endured enough pain. Bo-are won't be the reason she suffers again. The next day, she deletes the love letter she had written to Woon-ho, the one she sent to Yeon-do's email by mistake. She tells herself this is the right thing to do. She'll let Yeon-do have her happy ending, even if it means giving up her own. When Woon-ho asks her to meet him one last time before he leaves for New Zealand, Bo-are lies, saying she never loved him. The words slice through her throat like glass, but she forces them out anyway. Woon-ho stands there in silence, crushed and confused, clutching the letter he'd written for her, a letter she'll never get to read. Later that night, he throws it away, not knowing that the girl who broke his heart was the same one who kept it safe for so long. Weeks pass, and the silence between them grows heavier than any goodbye. At school, Bo-are and Woon-ho still work side by side in the broadcasting club, pretending nothing ever happened. The laughter that once filled their days is gone, replaced by a quiet distance neither of them dares to cross. When they're assigned to film a welcome video for the upcoming school festival, the project becomes an unspoken test, a way to work together without saying what's truly on their minds. To edit the footage, they travel to Seoul with Yeon-do and Hyunjin, and for a brief moment, the city lights seem to bring back a spark of their old warmth. But beneath it all, the truth lingers. The love they're both trying to bury refuses to die quietly. At the amusement park, as the four of them wander among the lights and laughter, Yeon-do begins to see what's been in front of her all along. Every glance, every quiet smile between Bo-are and Woon-ho tells the story neither of them had the courage to speak. When Hyunjin gently admits that Bo-are and Woon-ho care deeply for each other, Yeon-do's face falls. The girl who once dreamed of her first love now stands in the middle of her best friend's secret heartbreak. That night, while Bo-are and Woon-ho ride the roller coaster, the noise around them fades away. Somewhere between the screams and the wind, he finds the courage to confess his feelings again, this time certain, even if it means being hurt again. A few days later, Woon-ho tells Bo-are that he's leaving for New Zealand. He doesn't say why, only that he'll be gone soon and hopes she'll remember him. Bo-are forces a smile, hiding the ache that threatens to escape with every word. That evening, Yeon-do visits her, her voice trembling with anger and sorrow. She confronts Bo-are for not being honest from the start, for choosing silence over trust. Yet, even through tears, she admits she doesn't want Bo-are to keep sacrificing her happiness for her sake. Later that night, Yeon-do opens her email and discovers the deleted message, the one Bo-are erased weeks ago. Reading it, she finally understands. Bo-are loved Woon-ho all along, and her silence was an act of love too painful to bear. The next morning, as Woon-ho prepares to leave, Yeon-do does something selfless. She meets him at the station and tells him everything, that Bo-are's rejection was a lie, that she loves him still. With the truth finally revealed, Woon-ho races to find Bo-are before his train departs. But fate has other plans. That same morning, Bo-are's younger brother is rushed to the hospital after an accident, and she never receives his call. Desperate, Yeon-do and Hyunjin take matters into their own hands, driving her to the station in a rush. Bo-are sprints through the crowd, breathless, searching for him. When she finally finds him standing by the train door, she shouts his name. He turns, eyes lighting up as she runs into his arms. They confess what they should have said long ago, that they love each other, that they'll wait, that this isn't the end. And with one last tearful embrace, Woon-ho boards the train and disappears down the track. That night, under the soft glow of the festival lights, Bo-are stands in the crowd as the film Woon-ho helped create plays on the big screen. Laughter fills the air, and for a fleeting moment, it feels as if he's still there beside her. Through the grainy footage and clumsy cuts, she can almost hear his voice, almost feel his hand brushing hers. When the credits roll, the cheers fade into a quiet ache inside her chest, an ache that grows stronger as weeks turn into months. She writes to him often, and for a while he writes back. Their emails become her lifeline, each one a tiny bridge between two worlds. But then, one day, his replies stop coming. The inbox stays empty. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. Boare waits. She checks her messages every night, staring at the blinking cursor as if it might suddenly bring him back. But as the years pass, the light of that first love begins to dim beneath the weight of time. By the time she enters university, she's learned how to smile through it, how to laugh with Yundu again, how to talk about her future without mentioning his name. And still, deep inside, she carries the quiet hope that maybe he'll return one day, that he'll keep the promise he whispered before leaving. But that day never comes. Eventually, she stops checking the inbox altogether. The girl who once lived through love's chaos grows into a woman who's learned to live without it. Years later, life has taken her far from that small town. She becomes a radio announcer, just as Woonho once encouraged her to be. Her voice, steady and calm, reaches strangers she'll never meet, but none who know the story behind its warmth. On an ordinary evening, a familiar name finds its way back to her Woonho's younger brother, Joseph. He invites her to an art exhibition, enclosing a single old videotape in the package. The label, written in the same careful handwriting, pulls her back to a place she thought she'd buried forever. At the exhibition, Boare wanders through the displays until she finds herself standing before a collection of photographs, all of them images from their youth. Joseph approaches quietly and tells her the truth she never wanted to hear. His brother died in an accident years ago. Woonho never stopped thinking about her. The tape he left behind was his final memory of their time together. Joseph says that for his brother, those days with her were the happiest of his life. Boare listens, tears streaming silently down her cheeks. She thanks him for bringing his brother back to her, even if only for a moment. That night, back home, she plays the tape. The screen flickers, and suddenly she's there again, the streets of her old town, the laughter of her friends, Woonho's smile caught forever in grainy color. She watches herself through his eyes, all the silly moments, the small joys, the days that once felt endless. Near the end, Woonho appears on screen, holding the camera, calling her name. He tells his little brother to wish her a happy new year, promising he'll return soon. But he never did. The image fades, leaving only static and silence. Boare sits there for a long time, the glow of the television lighting her tears. The boy she loved is gone, but in that flickering light, he feels alive again. Somewhere between memory and loss, she smiles through her tears, whispering a quiet goodbye to the first love that shaped her, the one that time could never erase.